decided to run this video now to do some testing on something, and I'll explain here in a second. As you can see, I'm in the Normandy map. My home airfield is right below me, I believe. It's right below me. And I'm heading out and along the coast where I've set up another airfield with ground targets. They are aircraft. And the whole point of this testing is the difference between ground static aircraft and AI uncontrolled aircraft. I kind of did this experiment yesterday and I took some screenshots, and the reason I did that is because a friend of mine and myself are testing a dynamic multiplayer map from Normandy where missions are generated and then you destroy whatever is generated, and then it either cleans up after a certain amount of time if you haven't destroyed them, or once you've destroyed them it cleans up and you can start another mission. Well, some of those missions have airfields that you attack, and I believe most of the aircraft on those airfields are static aircraft, and we've had trouble destroying them. And my hypothesis, well, if they were AI uncontrolled aircraft, maybe it would make a difference. Maybe it's easier to damage those as opposed to the static aircraft. I'll note later on some of the differences when they're hit, but I'm running this to show that, hopefully to show and find a difference between the damage models of the static aircraft and the AI uncontrolled aircraft. I'm running the BF-109K4 Kurfürst. I've got loaded a SC 500 kilogram bomb. Because it's such a big bomb, I have no real ammunition for the guns. It says I've got the indicators that I have ammunition, but I don't. I don't have ammunition loaded. And I also have it set for unlimited fuel because it's very low, and unlimited ammunition, so to replenish, so I can do several passes and bombing runs without having to take off, fly over to the target, drop my bombs, fly back, reload, and so on and so forth. Another note is this aircraft is not designed as a dedicated ground attack aircraft. It is a fighter. It can bomb, but it's not the best at it. So that being said, and also understanding that I'm not the best dive bomber there is, it might take a little bit, but that's the reason why I'm making this video, just to show the difference and find the difference and document it, and also to have a little bit of fun. You know, it's just a good time altogether. So here we go. First thing I'll do is gain control of my aircraft. You can see, as I've said before, that I usually start with target markers on. You can see them there on the airfield in front of me with the red dots. I'm going to turn those off. Regain control of my aircraft again because I've got to take both my hands off the controls. Now, that's the airfield up there that I have the target set up on. There are 8 I-16 AI uncontrolled aircraft at the far end of the runway, and then lining the airfield in the parking spaces are other static aircraft. Most of them are I-16s as well, but I've got 5 Focke-Wulf 190s also. You'll see them when we come in a little closer. So I've got my bombs here. I've got to set it for dive bombing and to an immediate fuse. Turn my weapon systems on, the power. Now as I get a little closer, as I said before about the BF-109, it's made to fly. It's a pain in the butt to handle on the ground. I still haven't mastered that, hence part of the reason why I also started in the air. But it's very aerodynamic and it does not slow down very fast. So I'm going to cut some power here, and we've got to cut the power and slow down before we go into a dive, because as you will see, as soon as I start to dive, this thing will pick up speed like nobody's business. I don't want to lose too much altitude.
Yeah, there, yeah. So, you're good. Just keep
Okay,
chugging
we're
away.
almost.
Apparently what?
Yeah, that's close enough. Rolling in for the dive.
Why?
My first target is going to be that line of Focke-Wulf 190s on the far end.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll hit something here. Bombs away. Pulling out. Okay, so I hit at least one of them, maybe two. Hold on a second here. Even this out for a second. Going to active pause. These are the uncontrolled AI aircraft. For some reason I can't get it to focus on the static aircraft. Okay, so here are the static aircraft. You can see the dark mark on the ground where my bomb hit. Totally destroyed two of the static Focke-Wulf 190s. And as you can see, it did a significant amount of damage to the other three, but they're still standing. Okay. I'm actually kind of surprised this third one didn't go up in flame and end up like these two. For all intents and purposes, they probably should have that amount of damage. But they didn't. Okay, so here's the uncontrolled AI aircraft. Let's go back to my plane. We should have another bomb loaded. Yep, sure enough, we have another bomb loaded. Okay, I'm going to unpause it and regain control of my aircraft. Okay, now we've got to gain some more altitude, come back around, and we're going to do a bombing run on those I-16s at the end of the runway. And if I can hit close to any one of those, it should be a pretty good firestorm, to be honest. Like I said, it's a 500 kilogram bomb, and its blast radius is is pretty impressive, especially for a World War II ordnance. So it's kind of slowly pull into a turn, still gaining altitude. We're at about 1,500 meters. I'd like to be slightly higher. Kilometers per hour is a good speed for right now because we do have to slow down. Okay, we're going to keep it off to our left here a little bit so that we can roll in when it's time. We can kind of judge. Start slowing down here. Should slow down pretty fast because we're nose up. And let's roll in and dive in. Alright, steady. Steady. Bombs away, pull out. Okay, we destroyed 3, and you notice we damaged probably 3. A couple of those are probably the ones that were destroyed, so let's even out here for a second, get control of our aircraft. And then active pause. Okay, so where did the bomb land? We may not be able to see here for a second. But it looks like we destroyed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aircraft and damaged 3. Question is, where did the bomb land? I just have to say though, you know, the static aircraft destroyed do not look as cool, to me, that is, as the regular AI aircraft after they're destroyed. Okay, so we've got a direct hit on that second one in front of us here. You can see the dark area on the ground. That's where a bomb hit. And that bomb destroyed 5 aircraft as opposed to what we had over there. So, you know, I wish I had a ruler I could measure it out, but you can tell that there probably should have been more aircraft on the other side over there at Focke-Wulf 190s that were destroyed from that bomb hit. So let's go back in to my aircraft again. We'll unpause it and do another run on the other line of I-16s on the runway and see what happens there, if I can hit anything. Now I did try this yesterday with just the guns, with the 30mm cannon in the nose, and then the 13mm cannons on the top cowling, and I wasn't steady enough to do too much damage to the aircraft with those. That's why I'm using bombs. But I think, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I think I'm doing a pretty logical test of the difference in the damage models of the static versus the uncontrolled AI aircraft. So let's see what happens if I can place a bomb on these other I-16s and see what happens, and we can compare them. By the way, I really love flying this airplane. It's quite a challenge. Like I said a little while ago, I just barely started learning this one. I still can't take off consistently, and I have trouble with pretty messy landings. But it is just a lovely aircraft. And I'll be honest, you know, ever since a kid, this is one of my favorite World War II aircrafts of all time. My first one being the P-40 Warhawk. I know it's old, it's ugly, it's a beast. I love it. Everything about it. This is my second favorite. A lot of my friends and whatnot, they like the P-51 or the Spitfire, but I love this one. And since I don't have a P-40, well, I'll use this one. Okay, let's slow down. Compensate with some rudder here. Start rolling in. Let's go for that far line because we're better lined up with that one. Bombs away. Pull out. Okay, I got a direct hit on one of them. Ooh, pulled up too much. Let's stabilize. Okay, to climb. Go to active pause. Alright. So we got a direct hit on one. There's one destroyed. So, here we go. You can see the dark spot on the ground there. That's where the bomb hit. So it was almost a direct hit. It obviously destroyed that one. You can see some pretty good damage on that one next to it, and you can barely see it, but there's shrapnel damage to that one as well. That one's pretty much destroyed, and there's probably some shrapnel on that one. Yep, A little bit on that one, but not much. And that one looks like it's untouched. Okay, so those are static I-16s. And that's the damage on those. So let's try one more run on that other group of I-16s and see if we get anything different. And then after that one, we'll do one more drop on those other 8 minus 5 and see if we can finish the rest of them off. Alright, let's unactive pause this, get some separation and altitude. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something cool. At least it's cool to me. I'm going to gain some speed and do a loop with a big old heavy bomb, which is probably not suggested, probably not a smart thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. It'll get us in generally the opposite direction of what we're traveling and a whole lot of altitude. So .500 kilometers an hour. Let's pull up. It wasn't a clean loop, but it was a loop nonetheless.
Control that.
Okay, we're at 1,300
Control that, babe.
meters. 400 kilometers an hour. Let's start to back out the speed. Oh, great, I didn't really line up that well. I'm going to blame the dogs. Yeah, I'm going to blame the dogs. They distracted me. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Are you really stressed anymore? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear her tell me that. I don't read mine.
Bombs away. Okay, I got a direct hit on something, but I also hit myself. Yikes. I wonder how much damage I did to myself. Alright, stabilize. Active pause. And have us a look-see. Oh yeah, almost a direct hit on that one, which obviously destroyed it. The two on either side are for all intents and purposes destroyed, but not really destroyed. I'm pretty sure those have some shrapnel damage, although I can't see it the way this works. That one does a little bit, and the other one's probably almost untouched, as that one is pretty much untouched. Okay, so those again are static I-16s, as opposed to the ones further forward that are uncontrolled AI aircraft. So let's do our final run and see if I can finish the rest of those off, and then I'll finish up this video, hopefully documenting what I believe is a disparity between static aircraft and uncontrolled AI aircraft and their damage. You noticed also that when I hit something, on the left part of the screen it'll say what I damage and what I destroy. If it's static, it doesn't do that for me. I don't know if that's a setting that I can change. I haven't really looked into it. But I don't get an indication that I've damaged or destroyed static objects. I usually have to go look and see. Let's see if I can line this one up, not be too distracted by what else is going along in my house right now. They're probably mad at me. Why do I have to be quiet? Why do I have to be quiet? Well, I'm sorry. It's not often I can just put audio on my videos. I have to wait for nobody to be home, or else I run into this problem, and sometimes it's maddening, so sorry. I'll just have to deal with that for now. Hope it's not too distracting for everybody. It's a little distracting for me, but oh wow, I'm closer than I thought I was. Okay, let's dive in on them. Hopefully I get a decent angle on the dive bomb. Bombs away. Add power and pull out. That looked good. So, stabilize my aircraft here in a climb. And pack your pause. Ah, wouldn't you know? I can't even select those aircraft because obviously I've destroyed them all. Okay. That's interesting. I just figured out how I can see the static airplanes. I was looking at anyway, here is the uncontrolled AI I-16s that I had at the end of the runway. You can see the second brown mark on that third aircraft in front in the second row. It was pretty much a direct hit on that one, and it finished off the rest of the aircraft. So there you have it. It seems to me, and I'll probably have to do some different testing with different aircraft obviously, but it seems to me that there is a disparity between static aircraft on a runway or airfield and AI uncontrolled aircraft on an airfield for damage. So just for kicks and giggles, I'm pretty heavy and I don't think I can pull it off, but let's go back and see if I can land this buddy. And then I'll finish the video. I don't need to gain too much altitude if I'm going to go land, so I don't want to drop too much altitude either. Okay. Come on. That's the problem with unlimited ammo. I'm still going to be laden with this 500 kilogram bomb. Even though I've dropped how many? Let's do a flyby just for fun. Oh, I love that. Pick my airfield, it really doesn't matter. Let's go for that one. We'll go for a straight in. We gotta slow down though. Especially with this much weight. Don't want to be gaining altitude either. Okay. Let's drop our landing gear. Start dropping some flaps here.
Oh my gosh.
That'll slow us down pretty quick, but we're going to have to add power or else we'll lose a lot of speed. And that's good enough. Okay, I'm going to have to maintain a little over 250 kilometers per hour as I descend. If I get really dicey, the closer I get to 200 kilometers per hour, so. We're pretty well lined up with the runway already. And our descent rate's pretty okay for now. We don't want to be going quite that much of a descent rate later on, but it's fine for as we're getting lined up with the runway. Come on, we drop some speed. I'm pretty heavy, so. Okay, let's start decreasing my descent.
Slather and oil and salt, poke sport holes in it, and wrap it in foil.
Probably ought to turn my weapons off. Notice that slight changes in the engine will torque this thing all over the place. It's a pretty powerful engine. My descent rate's too much. Nice and easy. I just probably ruined my gear. That didn't sound good. Yeah. I think I busted my tires. Hey, on the bright side, I landed in a parking spot. Look at that. Yeah, I busted my landing gear. That's what it looks like when you mess your landing gear up. That might destroy it. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope my dog was not too annoying. Thanks for watching.